AmandaLand. How about now? Anything? Yes? We're back? Yay! Yay! Okay, sometimes it just takes a little second. That's all. It just take a little second. Welcome to Views from AmandaLand. I am Amanda Seals, and I want to welcome you to the news and truths by any joke necessary. And you woke up on the right side of history. Lucky you. Lucky you. It is another day here in the world. And what I was saying before I was silenced, were you silent or were you silenced, was look how much better I sound. Look how much better I sound. Literally, I'm so proud of myself. I sound so much better. And it really is because I did more research and I am on the mend. And I'm going to be getting myself together. And I'm getting my vitamin D and all those things. So shout out to me. Yay! Shout out to me. Did you know that in New York, you cannot get vitamin D from the sun during the time frame of December to May because the sun is at a latitude that is too low for your body to absorb it? Yeah. The sun is at a latitude that is too low for your body to absorb it. And so a lot of people suffer from, what ends up being called, come on, what's the depression? Winter depression. You know what I mean? And what it really is that your body is not taking in vitamin D. And yes, Damon, especially Black people, because our seasonal depression, thank you, because our melanin doesn't absorb it as easily. What? I learned this because, of course, one of the members of the SEAL squad is an expert on this and did her doctorate on vitamin D. And this was so revelatory for me. And so that is why a lot of people have to get a prescription for vitamin D when they live in these particular regions during that time. They also said that your fat cells will store vitamin D during the summer months or during your trips, if you can get away. However, the truth of the matter is that if you have a deficiency in general, you should start taking supplements or maybe start with a prescription and then keep the prescription going with supplements. I mean, come on. I was literally like, so who knew? Now I think there is a certain level of just the physical sun brings you joy, right? So even if you're not taking in the vitamin D, there's still the joy of the sun. But imagine the combination of the two. And that's me. That's me. So yes, Gregory, I'm about to, and I've been eating halos out the wazoo. Okay. But this was revelatory. So I am starting to feel better. And I think just naturally, you psychosomatically just start to feel better when you start to take control of your own health. Now, I was going to wear this sweater. I have to do Don Lemon's show later on, and I was going to wear this sweater. But now I feel like this is not a TV sweater. This is not a TV sweater. This sweater definitely looks better in a library than on screen. On screen, this sweater looks like a wrap. It looks like a blanket that I've wrapped around my body. this sweater. That's what this sweater looks like to me. Like a blanket I've wrapped around my body. So when you see me on Don Lemon later and I'm in a different outfit, you're going to be like, she did say that. She did say that she was going to change that outfit because that wasn't the one. Yeah. It's a nice color, but it's there it is, Kismet. Once again, Kismet comes through. It's too cozy for TV. It's too cozy for TV. Yeah, gotta let it go. But, it's fine for the AmandaLanders because y'all respect it. Y'all respect it. Yes, Miriam, it's the Kravitz sweater. It's the Kravitz sweater. All right? So I'm going to be on with Don Lemon later. Somebody was on my YouTube today saying, weren't you the one that was crying about Joe Biden when he won? And I proudly said, yes, because I didn't know any better at the time of how things worked. Now, I talked about this on my Patreon this morning, but I don't like when people try and hold you to what you thought before, even though you've grown past that. And I have talked about this multiple times. I used to be somebody who was learning the rules and roles of politics, and I was going through a phase of political activism, and through that process and continued regimen and discipline of learning, I then arrived at political radicalism. It's a process, but I don't think there should be any shame about that process. I think, if anything, you should be proud and be patting people on the back who have gone through that process. The same way that Jewish folks that grew up in Zionist households that become anti-Zionists and are using their voices and their platforms to speak to it, pat them on the back. When you do better, when you know better, you do better, and then you share better. Yes. And in the case of me, it's because I'm okay. So shout out to that. Shout out to that. And, I grew up listening to Bob Marley, and I grew up in a Grenadian household, and I grew up as, the child of someone who just really wasn't about authoritarianism. So, authoritarians, my mom was never afraid of white people. My mom was always teaching me, you need to be unafraid to tell these white people, whether they're adults or not, when they're wrong, to tell them what you think. You need to be able to speak to adults, etc. So I was encouraged early on to have a mind and to speak that mind. But I don't think there's anything valuable in trying to just tether people to pasts that they've grown past. It's like when people talk about Malcolm and Martin. Like someone said to me the other day, well, we lived in Martin's vision, and look where we ended up at. And it's like, well, Martin was assassinated before his vision was even realized. Martin started talking about unions and labor connectivity in the same way that Fred Hampton was. And by the way, Fred Hampton was assassinated very shortly thereafter. Martin was talking about we need to come and collect our check. Martin had come to understand the moral bereftness of this nation. He had evolved. And so often we are brought into spaces not because of our knowledge, but because of our gifts, right? So Martin was brought into the movement, not because he knew about movements, but because he was a very gifted speaker, because he was somebody who knew how to gather people and empower them and embolden them. Malcolm X did not come into the movement because he was like, hey, that looks like something I need to be a part of. No, he came into the movement because it began as a source of salvation for him when he was transitioning from his previous life out of the life of Malcolm Little and Malcolm Red, and into Malcolm X. And then when you get into that space, you start to evolve from the education. So don't shame yourselves, okay? Do not shame yourselves for your ideologies evolving. I don't think you should forget or acknowledge, or sorry, you should not forget to acknowledge where you've evolved from. I think nappy, thank you. I don't know why my brain, I told you names. Names are leaving me. I'm not remembering names anymore. I'm mad someone in here called him Nappy Red. His name was Detroit Red. Okay. So let's understand that. But yeah, so y'all, if you're shifting, you're moving, you're doing what you need to do, because this is the time for that. This is the time for that. And anyone that's trying to hold you to some idea of perfectionism is not really actually about change. They're not really actually about the people. I'm going to talk about it in my PSA about people who are like, if you really want people to listen, then you need to XYZ. So remind me to talk about that in my PSA. Now, today, again, I am on my last day of break, but it really is more so continuing to give you all the opportunity to talk amongst yourselves about topics that we oftentimes are overlooking, and to really, as a community, get some engagement between each other without me. And I say this because we have to individually get our courage up, get our confidence up about being able to speak about things that we know about, and being able to ask about things that we don't know about. If you're in this chat today and you have never said a word, I hope today is the first day that you do so. I hope today is the first day that you at the very least say, hi, I'm so-and-so and I'm from XYZ place. Speaking of which, where is everybody from? Let's start talking about it. Where is everybody from? Where is everybody from? My name is Amanda Seals. Somebody in here keeps misspelling my name. It is very irritating. While we are waiting for people to tell me where they're from, remember, we do this Monday through Wednesday, 10 a.m. to whenever, pretty much, but it's 10 a.m. Eastern. So make sure you join us. Make sure you subscribe. It says my subscriber count is dropping. My subscriber count is dropping, and I don't like it. So we got to get that subscriber count. My subscribers count is dropping, so we need to keep that up. So make sure you tell a friend to subscribe. Please watch for at least 20 minutes and replay the episode. That helps to get the engagement, but that also, most importantly, helps to encourage the actual ad spend that happens on these episodes. And for those who don't know, the ads is how I am supported and compensated. And I know some of you all are like, well, why does that have to happen? Well, because I do this for free, and I think that I should be supported and compensated for the amount of work that I'm doing. What don't you guys don't want to be supported and compensated for the work you're doing? I do. So shout out to all of y'all who are doing that. Remember, you can also support my podcast, Small Doses Podcast. This week is part 2 of Connie One, who is joining to talk about side effects of anti-Asian hate. My podcast is now independent as well. So if you hear more ads, that's why. Now, if you want to not hear ads, you can go to Patreon and you can listen to Views from AmandaLand and Small Doses Podcast ad-free on Patreon. And you can also watch the Small Doses Podcast ad-free on my Patreon. Subscribe at patreon.com, Amanda Seals. If you are here in YouTube, please add a super to show your support. Okay? All right. Let's get into it. Let's see who's here. All right. We have got hi, my name is Tyler, and I'm from Sherman Oaks, California. Yay! This is Kristen from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Yay! Shout out to our mods. I believe Sandy and Rolando are our mods. Rolando, can you please block this person who is continuously spelling my name wrong just to irritate me? I would appreciate that. Thank you so much. We also have other AmandaLanders like Lynette from Atlanta. And this is her first live. Welcome, Lynette from Atlanta. Good morning, all. We got Chandrail Stansberry. What a name. I love it. From Oakland, shout out to the whole town. Biz. Also, we got a Trinidadian living in Florida. Big up, big up, big up, big up. We got Carla from San Diego. We got Charleston, South Carolina. We got Connecticut. We got Abu Dhabi in the building. Wow. We got the Catskills area of New York, but living in Colorado. We got Stillwater, Oklahoma. We got the Lower East Side, New York City. We got LA, Thomasville, Sugarland, Tejas, Langston, Michigan. We got the BX in the building. We've got Amanda joining from London. Yay! We have Sacramento and Sacramento. Look at both of y'all are in Sacramento. Y'all should link up. Y'all should link up and say what up to each other. Look, then we have Sonia and Shy the Truth in Dallas. Y'all should link up. Can we organize some AmandaLander link ups in certain cities? I would love to do that. Let's organize some AmandaLander link ups. We need to do it. Nova, Alexandria, North Virginia. We got Los Angeles. We got Brooklyn. We got so many New Yorkers in here. We need an AmandaLander link up. What if I organize an AmandaLander link up in New York and let that be a template for AmandaLander link ups everywhere else? I mean, let's figure it out. I think it could be really cools manools. I actually know exactly where I could do an AmandaLander link up. Oh my gosh. I think I'm going to figure out how to make it happen. Olivia said, yes, I would love an AmandaLander link up. Oh my gosh, I just got an incredible idea. Yes, I'm going to figure it out. What? Is it Peter? From Dublin, Ireland. We love the Irish. Welcome. Oh, this is Gigi's. I love you guys actually doing what I asked and saying your name and where you're from. It's Gigi. It's her first time here from Buffalo. Oh, wow. And it's Tina Branch's birthday. Happy birthday, Tina. Happy birthday, Tina. Happy birthday. Come on, choir. Happy birthday. It's also Joy's birthday. Happy birthday to Joey and Tina. Yes. And we have San Juan, Puerto Rico in the building. Wepa! Puerto Rico! I got in a car accident when I was 16 and I totaled my car and I was listening to Robbie Rob's Boricua anthem at the time. Esta nena quiere que yo, porque sabe que yo quiero, hátale la cabeza hasta la mañana. Esta nena quiere que yo, porque sabe que yo quiero, hátale la cabeza hasta la mañana. Yeah, it was a crazy time. It was a crazy time. Yeah. Memories. Music be like pinpoints of your life. Boop. Amanda Lore. What song was Amanda listening to when she totaled her car at 16 at the intersection of Wallace and Apopka Vineland Boulevard in Orlando, Florida? Yeah, that was a time. Anywho, I honestly am just so glad to feel better. Do you see me? I'm just like, I have felt like crap for so long. And, you know, folks who deal with illness and chronic illness, man, I want to send out so much love for you. I haven't felt sick like that for like an extended amount of time ever. And it was like just killing me. Kimberly, I was not injured, but my best friend Julia, the same one who I mentioned in my special about the Negro National Anthem, she ended up her lung collapsed. So she ended up going to the hospital with a collapsed lung. And I remember calling my mom and saying I got in a car accident. And she said, how do you expect me to pay for that? that has been discussed in therapy. Yeah. Life. Life. Was it me that thanked caregivers the other day? No, but I will thank caregivers today. Thank you to all the caregivers who are out there and who are doing the work and supporting people and sharing their time and their compassion and their skills. We thank you so much. You are underappreciated. I love how there's people in the comments who are like, ooh, mom's wasn't. Listen, if you thought that was an appropriate response, you need to unpack that in therapy, because that is a completely terrible response from a parent. And it is absolutely a reflection of lack of empathy. But yay, I'm all right, y'all. I'm all right. I'm all right. So today we are going to be talking about climate change. But before we get into that, I want to remind you that I will be at Lincoln Center this weekend, and I will be doing my show, What Would the Ancestors Say?, which is a free show at Lincoln Center. I'm very excited to be able to present this to you for free. It will be doors open at 6 o'clock. If you get there after 6, I believe that you will not get in. Sometimes feel like in our history books, it goes like slavery and then Martin Luther King. Now, if I came back down there, you got to ask yourself, would Harriet Tubman shoot me? I think about Clarence Thomas like all the time. So often, Black excellence is just opposed to white mediocrity. That our ancestors were not fighting and dying and escaping to be white. We got Nissan, we got Daewoo, but we don't have a Keisha XL Turbo. Black, black, black. You know, some folks ain't ready to be free. They're like, oh my God, my great-great-great-grandfather wasn't a good man. Ugly, nice, bad. And as it tries to pull them prongs through the neck, he feels his wrist about to snap. And then it's pop, pop. Nothing in this country for Black American people has ever been won without great loss. The Civil Rights Act of 1964, the Voting Rights Act of 1965, Fair Housing Act of 1968, Happy Juneteenth! Here, nigga! Damn! Black people who don't build altars on Juneteenth should be haunted. If they really wanted us in this country, we would have already been paid reparations and remunerations. There's a difference. Top cities are simply just occupation bases in your city. Damn. Everybody's got a plan till they get punched in the face. My people, we must re-engage our empathy. People ask me, why do you care so much about Palestine? Part of the reason I care so much is because I should have cared all along. And you think that Palestine don't got shit to do with you? Black people started coming to my shows wearing keffiyehs like starter jackets in the 90s. A bridge was being built. I chose to lose to regain my integrity. Knocks me right off of my feet. Can't explain why your love, it makes me weak. Oh, the niggas. All right, you can get your meet and greet tickets at amandaseals.com. Meet and greet tickets are $100. And if anybody has something to say about that, just don't buy the meet and greet tickets. That's right. Just don't buy the meet and greet tickets. Again, the structure that I've set up is that I try to do the shows for free. Not try. I'm doing the shows whenever I can do shows, speaking engagements. I'm trying to make sure that those are for free so that the actual messaging and the work and the art is done and available for free. However, there is opportunities to support via meet and greet, via merch, and that is part of the whole grassroots supporting of things. Miriam, yes, we have selected the volunteers for this go round. If you submitted to volunteer for this go round and you didn't make it, please keep submitting. The goal is to make sure that folks who want to be supportive get to support. So thank you so much. If you submitted to volunteer, I don't want to say, I think there's a version of life where I might be able to reserve a seat for you. If you submitted to volunteer, but you didn't get to volunteer, I might be able to reserve a seat for you. I have to look at the count to make sure that I'm able to. So I just want to make it I might, and I will look into this and confirm it by tomorrow, the latest. But thank you to everybody who has supported What Would the Ancestors Say? You can actually go to my Patreon, and you don't have to subscribe to my Patreon in order to purchase What Would the Ancestors Say, to watch the live stream that I performed November 2nd, 2023 in Los Angeles. It really was a legendary show, if I do say so myself. And I thought that would be the end of it, but that actually ended up being the beginning of it. So there's that. So I'm looking forward to having people come through. And let me just tell you something. I hope that we have so many people. The meet and greet became available on February 17th. The show is this Saturday. There are so many people who I lost my train of thought. I don't know what I was going to say. Anyways, thank you all, because this work is continual, and damn, I really lost my whole train of thought. I said there are so many people, and what was I about to say after that? There are so many people, there are so many people, there are so many people. I have no idea. That's crazy. Anywho, today's word of the day. Today's word of the day is doughty. Brave and persistent. Doughty. Brave and persistence. Who out here is doughty? The word is DOUGHTY. It's an adjective. Brave and persistent. Brave and persistent. That's what it was. Thank you, Luna. Thank you, Neil. Yes. I hope that there are so many people that I can do it again. Oh my God. That really warmed my heart that y'all knew what I was thinking. That's literally what I was going to say. I hope that there are so many people at the show that they well, gosh darn it, we got to do this again. Man. Yeah. Man. All right. DOUGHTY, adjective, brave and persistent. Let's see who's got some sentences for us. Royal Majesty says caucasity has been doughty for the longest time, but in actuality, it is dutty. Yes, we love it. Dana said Doge is not dutty. Well, Dodge is not dutty. Actually, Doge is dutty. That's the problem. Yeah, that's the problem. Mill said, I'm a dutty. I'm a dirty gal. Y'all are really hilarious. Miriam said, Amanda Seals is demonstrating for us how to become more dirty in our communities. That is great. Thank you. I appreciate that. Kismet said, if we want to see change, we must move with doty energy. Yes. Kimberly says, my old coworker was doty about finding ways to get me written up for her own amusement. Gosh, damn it. We don't like that. We don't like that at all. That sound effect took quite a while. All right. Thank you, C. Lynn. Miss Amanda Seals' work is doty and inspiring. And let's get a last one to close it out. Denise says, in the face of these ignorant haters with a Z, Miss Seals has been doty in her pursuit of truth, excellence, and community. That's a fact. Shout out to all of y'all, man. Shout out to all of y'all. Actually, Aberrant Crux gets the bonus because they used the previous word with this word. People give one little deco at a headline and then become doty experts on the interwebs, and I don't like it. Yeah. Deco was that word yesterday, right? Deco is a word meaning a glance, taking a cursory glance. I love that. You guys are the best. All right. So today, let's talk about climate change, which is something we do not talk about enough. So today, we're going to have a conversation where I'm going to put up this video, and I want you to listen to astronomer Carl Sagan talk about climate change. But listen to what's really fascinating, not fascinating is not the word here. What I love here is the argument that he couches it in. Okay? The argument that he couches this conversation of climate change in, and I want you to think about why he chose this particular argument to couch it in when addressing Americans.
How much money do you think the United States has spent since 1945 on the Cold War? Sometimes I ask this question, and from the back of the audience comes an answer: billions and billions. A huge underestimate, billions and billions. The amount of money that the United States has spent on the Cold War since 1945 is approximately $10 trillion. Trillion, that's the big one, with the T. What could you buy for $10 trillion? The answer is you could buy everything in the United States except the land. Everything. Every building, truck, bus, car, boat, plane, pencil, baby's diaper. Everything in the United States except the land. That's what we've spent on the Cold War. So now let me ask, how certain was it that the Russians were going to invade? Was it 100% certain? Guess not, since they never invaded. What if it was only, let's say, 10% certain? What would advocates of big military buildup have said? They would have said, we must be prudent. It's not enough to count on only the most likely circumstance. If the worst happens, and it's really extremely dangerous for us, we have to prepare for that. Remote contingencies, if they're serious enough, have to be prepared for. It's classic military thinking. You prepare for the worst case. And so now I ask my friends who are comfortable with that argument, including the editorial page of the Wall Street Journal, why doesn't that same argument apply to global warming? You don't think it's 100% likely? Fine, you're entitled to think that. If it's only a small probability of it happening, since the consequences are so serious, don't you have to make some serious investment to prevent it or mitigate it?
Now, this was from 1990. That was from 1990. One of my greatest joys in life is watching old clips and trying to guess what time it is by the women's hairstyles, by the point. I mean, by the way. Um, 1990. So the conversation that Carl Sagan is having is around why is it that there is so much extenuating circumstances around the possibility of attack from other humans and by violent methods, and we will mitigate that to the greatest extent. However, when it comes to climate change, we don't feel the need to do the greatest efforts of mitigation in that case. And this is a thought that I felt like we should dig into, just around the deeper conversation also of why are we ignoring climate change in so many ways. Now, I don't want to simply just talk about this from the point of view of capitalists, but I think it is fair to say that when it comes to climate change, it doesn't get enough conversation in our conversations on resistance. It doesn't get enough of a role of centering and priority in the conversation of resistance. So, we have our discussion prompts today. Do you agree or disagree with his suggestion that even if the certainty of climate change is not 100%, all efforts should be made to attempt to prevent it? I also prompt you with, how does the issue of climate change fit into your concepts of resistance? I also ask, what adjustments can and or should be made to how climate change is addressed within? And how does climate change directly and or indirectly impact you? Impact you. So, we've got an incredible chat. We've got our moderator, Rolando, is going to moderate this discussion, so he will lead you all in the prompts. I want to shout out everybody who is joining us for the first time. Normally, I do an entire show where I am up here and we're talking and we have news and views, etc. But for the sake of my trying to catch up on my own healing and rest, we're doing a different thing this week where our chat is taking over and having a conversation amongst themselves, and I will come back. So now there was another suggestion that you all made, which is, Amanda, you should play music. So I've got some music to play in the background. It's 10:47. I will be back so let me give you, it's like roughly 30 minutes. So I'll be back at 11:15. Rolando, I got you. The people are behind you. Please, folks, this is community. Share your knowledge. Share your curiosity. This is a safe space. It is imperative that we have safe spaces. I don't want anybody in here shaming somebody for asking a genuine question. I also want the folks in here to be careful about how they speak, because remember, your intonation is not able to be heard. So you're going to have to really be thoughtful about your choice of words and how you're delivering. Rolando, you know what to do. Kick them trolls out the second you see them. I'll be back, y'all. Y'all got to jam out to all of my instrumentals from my records. Y'all don't understand. Your girl was out here making hits. Your girl was out here making hits. I was just in my own little throwback session just now. I ain't trying to be bossy. I ain't trying to nag. I don't want to run your life. Don't want to take you that. The music wasn't playing. The music. You're kidding me. The music was not playing. Oh my gosh. Wait. Can you hear anything now? Oh my gosh. I'm embarrassed. Y'all, I put together an entire 35-minute playlist of instrumentals from my greatest hits because you all were like, we need music. I just... And the thunder struck, and the lightning hit. We couldn't handle it. I thought we would handle it. I don't remember the lyrics to my own songs. Wow. I'm so embarrassed. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's because I muted the mic. That's why. Well, okay. Well, just know the effort was there, y'all. Okay? The effort was there. The effort was there. And it was really good. Records. Hits. This is live musicianship. Hey, oh, hey, 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 ha ha, shala, la la. Come on, y'all. Doobie doo ba ba shoo ba ba doo da dee 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 da da. Dee da da dee shoo ba ba doo ma da ba ba doo down doo da da shoo da ba doo dee ska ba doo bow shoo da ba doo down. Oh man, that's hilarious. This was a song that I wrote. What was this song called? I don't remember the name of this song, but the song was it takes you through the journey of like being in a relationship and you're having tough times and you're like, you didn't realize tough times were going to happen. And then the tough times happened and then you had to work through that. But this right here, this was my jam. Now maybe if I push my titties up, I sell a couple records and stick my booty out, then I probably do even better, cause that's the way the game goes. It don't matter how nice you rhyme or sing, it's chick, take off your clothes, bump that, I keep mine on and go to #1. If they could bring the church to the club, then I ain't wishing on a planet. Thinking we could be stars without taking your clothes off to get a jump start. You see, y'all love me, hopefully, cause I'm real hip hop. I ain't frontin' for gimmicks, that's all I got. I ain't licking shots at no chicks on the throne, and I ain't out here claiming to be a Lauryn Hill clone. Came in this world on my own and this industry too. Went from a poet on an open mic to MTV too, and that ain't luckin', that ain't the right exec. That's strength, talent, self-respect, and intellect. I want a Lexus and a Beamer coupe, a Benz and a Range Rover too, but nothing I do is just for the money. Said I want a condo with a penthouse, a mansion with a guest house, but nothing I do is just for the money. Yeah! Taking y'all back. Taking y'all back. I should have pulled out a Kango. Really took y'all back to the Amanda Diva days. Yeah. I had a whole other life. a whole other life. I want a Lexus and a Beamer coupe, a Benz and a Range Rover too. But nothing I do is just for the money. I want a condo with a penthouse, a mansion with a guest house. But nothing I do is just for the money. I do this for the love. 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 Ooh, that was a good one. Y'all, I stand on that song to this day. I may have to remake that song. Because that was the jam. Anyways, all right. How did the discussion go? How are we feeling? We talked about climate change, and y'all were definitely talking. I mean, these folks was really into it, and I really appreciate the commitment. We kept 287 people on here, and I wasn't even on. And shout out to Rolando, who's been here helping y'all out, but who was also here since the Sucker Free Sunday days. Golly, that's a rider, okay? Y'all don't know, I've really been here, okay? I've really been here a long time. Okay, I've been here a long time. This is my, for some people, they're just now meeting me, but ooh, child, I've been here a long time. And I'm so glad that you guys were talking to each other and sharing your thoughts. And, some of the things that I saw was a lot of conversation around consumerism as ways that we can address this reality around what adjustments we can make and how climate change is addressed within. What I loved seeing is the toggling between what we can do individually, right? But also acknowledging that there are corporate changes that have to be made. And we already know that there are corporate changes that have to be made. I think, though, that when it feels like you can't change the big thing, there is something to be said for impacting it by changing with your own individual choice. So in the corporate goal of consuming, of putting out so many clothes for fast fashion to make money, if you decide, well, I'm not going to be purchasing those clothes, you begin to undermine that goal. And so their corporate platform, their corporate vision starts to end up having to shift. If you look at Target has lost like $15 million since they announced, their stockholders have lost $15 million since they announced they're taking away DEI. And Starbucks has finally admitted that they have lost incredible dividends since they sued their baristas for the baristas were doing something that was pro-Palestine, and they sued them. So I don't want us to ever start to believe that we really don't have any power. I don't want us to ever believe that we cannot make the shifts. I think that there's just such a concerted effort to present these people as so much bigger than life that it makes you feel like you can't challenge them, you can't undermine them. That is what I think people really connected with Luigi, right? It was this feeling of like, oh, look, this person is making life hell for people, and they are sequestered in safety, and they are making decisions that are affecting an innumerable amount of people, and they are getting corporate gain from this, and they don't have any repercussions. And so then you had Luigi, who came as an individual. He didn't come with a legion. He didn't come as a member of the mafia. He didn't come with some big artillery. He came as an individual, and he didn't even try to not get caught. Okay? He didn't even try to not get caught. He knew. And I think that's what made so many people connect to him, was that it really felt like, okay, there's an equalizing. There's a balance of power. There is a reality that these people aren't untouchable. And I know that it was done in violence. However, at the end of the day, the untouchableness shows up in dollars as well. Thank you, Megan, who said this has been such a fun and informative experience. This is a truly great community to laugh and learn with. I appreciate you so much. You know, there's a lot of effort that people make to try to keep people disparate and separate, but it is imperative that we have these interactions with each other and that we empower each other and inform each other. Everyone does not have the same access to information. And also everyone's brains just don't work the same. So, it's necessary. You can read by yourself all day long, but in a classroom, it's going to be different because perspective helps you to expand and utilize your critical thinking skills, hearing other people's perspectives. Now, Kismet says, I think we need more Luigis or Anonymous or something. And I think the reality is that there is something real happening in real time right now by making so many victims. Okay? You create victims, baby, you create revolutionaries. That's why the whole thought process around Israel attacking everyone to create safety is nonsensical. If you keep attacking everyone around you, you keep harming everyone around you, you think that they're going to remain subdued? That's nonsense. No, you literally create resistance. You create radicals. That's just the math. That's not rhetoric. That's not ideology. That's just the math. It really is just what it is. I also want to point out that nobody is going to come on here and tell you violence is the answer. Nobody is going to tell you that. Nobody is going to tell you destruction of property is the answer. That would open the door for them to be silenced. That would open the door for them to be approached by the forces of oppression. Nobody is going to tell you that. When people are asking, like, tell us what to do, nobody is going to tell you to do things that are illegal. Nobody is going to tell you to do that. Nobody is going to tell you to do things that are illegal. And I'm going to leave that at that. Now, I'm going to put up some of the comments that people, you can hear the music in the back still? No, you can't. The music's not even playing. You just hear that like in your mind. But I really feel like this has been really beautiful to see you all have these conversations, because I just feel like climate change is not enough of the conversation, and mostly because people don't feel like they can talk about it. They feel like it's only for the scientists. I feel like a lot of people feel that they are in some way not experienced enough, not informed enough to speak on climate change in their resistance conversation. And we need to get around that, because climate change is the one thing that affects everybody besides medical, right? It affects everybody. And it affects people in ways that they may not even be aware of. When we're here talking about, ICE is a result of migrants. Migrants are a result of the destabilizing of economies, but also of climate change. Climate change is affecting the global South more than anybody else, anywhere else. And climate change is by and far being caused by those in the global North. So, Miss Latia, thank you for helping me feel affirmed by saying the convo kept us going. The music may have been distracting. Thank you. The perfectionist in me is like, Now, this conversation started with a video from Carl Sagan. And A. Wilson says, Carl Sagan testifying before Congress in 1985 on climate change is available on YouTube. So go and check that out. Want to remind everybody again, I will be in New York City this Saturday at Lincoln Center. The merch table will open at 5, I believe. At 5. So you can get your merch. Even if you can't stay for the show, you can come and get your merch. The merch will be open during the show. The merch will be open after the show. If you can't get to the show, but you want to do the meet and greet, the meet and greet will begin at 9 p.m. If you come to the show, but you don't get in the 200 that are able to get in for the free tickets, but you still want to do the meet and greet, you can still purchase a meet and greet ticket and come back at 9 p.m. All meet and greet attendees will get a What Would the Ancestors Say fan, like this one right here, signed by yours truly. So all of that is happening. And I really appreciate you guys showing up this week, even though I haven't been well, but we still were able to make such great use of this time. And I'm going to get into my public seals announcement. PSA. So this week, there's been a lot of chit chatter about me because I said that the 92% sounds so stupid and dumb. They act like they didn't just. They act like they did so much, but they really just, kept the establishment going. So that's essentially what I said. And, I've seen people be like, if you really want to reach people, then calling them stupid and dumb is not going to do it. Here's the irony about that. I have addressed this concept of the 92% in a number of different ways. I've addressed it within my PSA. I've addressed it within conversation with other guests. I have spoken about it within the context of voting. I have even written about it in a poem. But none of that goes the distance until you say something in a way that has a certain level of toxicity in it. And that is because of two reasons. On this internet, it is an algorithm of toxicity. And also, you have become an algorithm of toxicity. Yes. The people have become the response of artificial intelligence to carrying forth the toxicity that the algorithm once did. Now, it doesn't even have to do it. We will do it. I realized this and started doing something on my Instagram where I would start a post just talking about a comment that I didn't like. And then I would go into the real thing I want to talk about. And the amount of views that it amassed versus just talking about the information that I want to talk about was unbelievable. And so many people also may have realized this because they would try to talk about things, and instead of just talking about those things, they would use me as their entry point in the toxicity. And it's scary to see how people don't realize how they're used in that way. And I want to also just point out that I am not here to be an influencer. I'm here to be an educator. I see people make entire videos about me, and I see people say, oh, well, so-and-so was talking about you, and this person was talking about you. And I will say 85% of the time, I don't know who you're talking about because I don't keep up with influencers. I'm not in the mix. I'm not a gossip blogger. I'm not somebody that just showed up when the internet became a place for people to express themselves. I've been here. I've been here since I was 8 years old. I've been SAG since 94. I've literally been in the Screen Actors Guild since 1994. And I've been doing this work of educating through edutainment on many different planes beyond this internet. That's why it feels so good to come back to being grounded with, what would the ancestors say? Because it makes me feel like when I was doing Smart, Funny, and Black Live and taking it around to different cities and bringing culture and community together in the name of comedy and history. And that was the thing, right? I wrote a book. I'm on my second book. Actually, I'm on my third book because my first book was a poetry book called Young Skin, Wise Mind, Old Soul. And one day I think I might just even do a whole series where I take you all through different works that I've done, not for the sake of flexing, though that is some of the reason, but also because those works really were about something. And they're about things that we do need to consider thought around. And I think it's really unfortunate that we have been sequestered into this wide, vast internet. Like, notice I just said sequestered into this wide, vast internet, because even though it is so wide, so many of us silo ourselves and sequester ourselves. That's how you have people say things to me like, if you want to reach people. And it's like, you heard me say one thing. You heard me say one thing one time, and you think I'm not reaching people. Which is so nonsensical. And the truth of the matter is that the internet brought me to you because I said something that is actually reflective of what you seek on the internet. I promise y'all, if you are seeking toxicity, this algorithm will bring it to you every time. Every time. The best time that I've had on this internet was during the worst time that I've seen in this world, post October 7th. And this is because it was the first time that my algorithm was actually reflecting my values. It was showing me folks that actually cared about humanity. It was showing me folks that were intellectuals. It was showing me folks that were leftists, that were socialists, that were outside of the realm of thinking in the of thinking in the myopia of capitalism. It expanded my mind immediately. Like, it wasn't even a slow burn. It wasn't even a slow burn. And it was the one time that I can say, oh my gosh, the internet was a beautiful place of shared horror, grounded in knowledge, grounded in vision, and grounded in resistance. So anyone who is here, by the way, to hate watch or to find something that they can use to get money off of toxicity, I implore you to consider a different path. I remember when Nicole Bitchie had said to me, I want to change my name because I don't want to be within that trajectory anymore. And I was like, why do you feel like you can't change your name? And she was like, well, because I feel like people aren't going to follow. And I'm like, they will follow you. And she changed her name literally from Nicole Bitchie to XO Nicole. And her space became about love and about gathering and community and sisterhood. So I just want to be clear in letting y'all know that I know how these things work. I don't need anyone's advice on what to respond to and what not to respond to. I promise you, you do not know better than me what is best for me. If you are simply annoyed by what you see me responding to, so be it. Also, keep that to yourself. I don't need to know. Okay? I don't need to know. There is a agency that we have in determining what comes our way. And all these folks out here running their mouth about me based on a clip are only revealing that they don't really care about real research, that they are easily triggered and reactionary. And if you're basing what you think about people or their character on 30 seconds, then that says a lot about you. I don't think anybody is basing their hatred of Elon Musk on simply him doing a Sieg Heil, even though in this case that would be enough. No. There's many examples. Several examples of him being a terrible person. Okay. I'm going to be on Don Lemon later today at 2:00. So join me, and shout out to everyone who has been a supporter. We'll be back regular time, regular show, vibes all day, news and truths from news. I always lose myself in that statement. News and truths by any joke necessary. Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Thank you all for waking up on the other side of history. Let's get into our 30 seconds of stillness. 30 seconds of stillness. I enjoyed laughing and learning with you. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And tell your friends. Also, listen to the podcast. It's available everywhere pods are casted. Listen ad-free by subscribing to Patreon Amanda Seals. Come on and join the Seals Squad. Views from AmandaLand. Live 10 a.m. Eastern Monday through Wednesday with content on Thursday and Friday at YouTube Amanda Seals TV. Smart, funny, and